Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody from the four corners of the world. Welcome back to my channel at Abimene 1137, where we are demystifying the land rights of women under customary systems. In my last video, I said that the next video will be discussing the importance of land to the African person with emphasis on the woman. In the African context, land has at least 4 dimensions, not exhaustive, but at least 4, which are spiritual, social, identity, political, and economic dimensions. These dimensions form the basis of how the African person views land and accord it its weight in their livelihood. I'll start off with the spirituality component, where I'm saying the African person knows that their land forms part of their spirituality. And that spirituality is related or based on access and ownership of the resource. Land is a fundamental socio-economic resource for the African person. The African people know and believe that land belongs to their ancestors. And these ancestors were given this land by their God, who is called Mwari, Msikavanu, Nyadenga, Umkulunkulu. And this land was never supposed to be sold. People were given this land to be able to use it. And these ancestors, the Mudzimus or Amandlozi, were responsible for how the land was utilized by everybody. The spirituality is still there today, especially under land under customary systems. It is still practiced and is still observed. The political component, we are aware that the African kingdoms, which were under their kings, were based on the amount of land each king was able to acquire through conquership, through wars, and that formed their kingdom. So it gave them political power. The other dimension, again, according to the dimensions I talked about, is the social. Land gives African people a social standing, and thus creating an identity. Finally, land is an economic good because the majority of the people from pre-civilization, whatever pre-civilization is, because I believe Africans were civilized in their own way, derived their livelihood from the land. This brings us our conversation to the women's land rights. What and how are the rights of women determined under customary systems? What are her rights? Today I'm going to talk about the married woman, who, according to literature and everything, is said to have been dispossessed, does not own land. She provides labor to her family's land, and she has no control. Somebody say that women in Africa spend their time working on land that does not belong to them, neither do they control the benefits derived from thereon. I'm going to just try to give a different perspective to that. In the African custom, an unmarried young man is never allocated a piece of land. He can only be allocated such a land parcel when he brings a wife home. I want to emphasize, the young man in a family or in a clan is only allocated a piece of land when he brings a wife home, and the wife is deemed to be a woman. That's a bit of insight. On being allocated the land by the clan, the young man is obligated by custom to further allocate a piece of land to his wife, the tsevu, which you talked about. This land is where the woman can grow whatever crops she wanted. She has total and absolute control over that land parcel. Right? This land is never divided, even if the husband brings a second wife. The second wife has to get another piece of land from the man's piece of land, whatever. It means we are subtracting his land parcel. But the land parcel of the woman that has been allocated belongs to her. I said she has absolute and total control of this land. She makes decisions on what to grow, when to grow. And on her death, in my custom, the proceeds from that piece of land go back to a natal home. And the piece of land does not revert back to the clan. It is inherited by her grandchildren. Right? So where do we get this notion that customary systems don't promote and protect women's land rights? Please join me on Facebook, on TikTok, and soon I will be on at Twitter, now X, and Instagram. And we continue this conversation with where we are going to delve in the rights of returning daughters. What happens to the rights? What happens to their land rights to these returning daughters? We said a married woman, her land belongs to her, and she's not there. It doesn't revert back to the clan. It goes to her grandchildren. I want to believe that the system does protect the land rights of women. Thank you, guys. See you in the next episode. Bye.